Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Allison. Hi, Sev. Hi, Laura. Hi, Mary. Hi, Pippa. Hi, Tanya. Hey, Monique. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Bravo. Welcome back. How you doing? Hi, Justin. How's everybody doing? Hi, Lemons. Hi, Skrilla. Hi, Jesse. Thank you for the love you so much, Lemons. Thanks for the love you so much, Eric. Thanks for your heart me, Skrilla. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for your cozy cryptid. Hi, Simon. Happy Wednesday. Mary, I hope you feel better soon. And you guys, I haven't asked for requests yet, so if you're typing them in, I might not get them. I have not asked for requests yet. I'm doing well, Allison. How are you? Hi, June. Welcome in. Hi, Robin. Lemons, I loved your meditation tonight. It was so relaxing and good. It was a good message. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Julie. Welcome in. Your sister gave you flowers today. That's so sweet. That's so kind. I love that. Oh, April, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Seems to be going around. Hi, Auntiana. Okay, happy Wednesday. Okay, now I'm ready. You guys can write your requests in all capital letters. And I'll write them down and then we'll vote on them. Thank you for the cozy cryptids, Auntiana. Oh no, Mary. I used to get strep throat like once a year. I'm so sorry. That sucks. Thank you, Robin, for the beautiful swan and for helping me with my gallery. I love you. And I love how its little feather flies. Change the colors on which one, Rachel? Oh yeah, me too. I totally agree. Thank you for the poetry score, Kathy. I love that one. It's so pretty. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories. to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them anytime you would like. They are available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, the links are in my bio. And I'm going to set up the first poll for us to vote with your story requests. Hi, Lady Rose. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm typing out the first poll, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? And then there's this little circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. And it helps us bring in cool people. Also, throughout the night, thank you to the Porch Pals who continue to write keywords and funny sentences containing the keywords in the chat. It does help AI categorize what our live is about, so we are able to talk about whatever we want because it will scan the chat and understand if we continue to write keywords. And it's also funny, and I pin the funniest sentences that I see. Hi, Seabass. And thank you to everybody who attended Witchy Wednesday today. And I will set up the poll and I'll be right back with the first poll so we can vote for the first story. Welcome to the porch. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Shorty. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Tanya. Hi, Angela. Hi, Hen. Hi, James. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Khaleesi. All right, you guys, the first poll is ready. Hi, Holly. First poll is ready. We have the crawl space. We have the Mothman. We have the Midnight Movie. We have the Librarian. And we have the Appalachian Trail Ghosts, which is Rain Crow Shelter. But whenever I put that, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So I know, Angela, and it literally gets requested and voted for every single day. Tell me about it. Anyway, all right, guys. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost if you're on TikTok. And if you're not, Justin is kind and will help you guys out. And you can vote for Crawl Space, The Mothman, The Midnight Movie, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. We also have The Librarian and The Appalachian Trail Ghosts. Who's it gonna be? Angela, what do you mean? Raincrow Shelter is the title. But I changed it to Appalachian Trail Ghosts because nobody knows what Raincrow Shelter is. They always ask what it means, so I just decided to, because that's what they ask for when they ask for that story. And then when I put it on the poll, no one knows which one it is. So I just decided to put that. Deborah, I like that one. You're cute. That's good. That's so cute. Oh, thanks, Julie. I'm glad you like my crystals. Hi, Paranormal Jules. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. Hi, Songbird. Just save me from the storm. It always goes around us, like I was telling you guys today in the live. It always goes around where I live. It never fully, it always parts right around where I live. With the boots by the door? Yes. All right, and the winner is the Raincrow Shelter. I know, me too, Michelle. And see, I just proved my point. That when I put it as Raincrow Shelter, the people requesting it didn't know that that's what the story's called, and they weren't voting, and they just don't think I'm including their story, because I get that story requested regularly and I put it on the polls as Raincrow Shelter, and then no one votes for it. And I realized it's because you guys are always asking for the Appalachian Trail Ghost story, and so I decided to just title it what you guys call it, and it worked. Because but that is also why I provided the list on Discord, so that you guys can maybe learn the names, but either way it works. This works too. It doesn't have to be called Raincrow Shelter. I'll call it Appalachian Trail Ghosts. That works just fine. Whatever works to get you guys to know which stories they are works for me. I'm not dead set on the names. I don't really care. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Oh, perfect, June. Even better. No, but June, that's what everybody asks for, so that makes sense why it's called that on the thumbnail. That makes perfect sense. Oh, don't cry. No. No, don't cry. I'll start using, right? That's what everybody always asks for. So I was like, maybe, but now that you're saying that's what's on the thumbnail, that makes total sense. Because I use the thumbnail, I have a little program I use that helps me maximize my thumbnails and titles for reach. So that must be why that's, whatever on the thumbnail, because that must be more attractive than my title. They never pick my titles. But I just picked Raincrow Shelter because that's what the shelter's called, But Appalachian Trail Ghosts probably catchier. Probably catchier. But I entitled mine kind of Are You Afraid of the Dark did. Are You Afraid of the Dark didn't give away what the story was about in the title, They kind of made it vague too. But I also don't have a nationally syndicated show, so maybe. Oh my God, thank you, Jamie, for the galaxy. And Holly, thanks for the singing frogs. So maybe I should just title them something more simple. easier to remember because there's so many of them. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and hi Crystal, I'm glad you're here. I do write and record all of these stories myself. And you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel or any of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you'll find me. I do also have a playlist called Bedtime Stories Playlist on my YT where you can hit play all or loop it and just fall asleep. Thank you, Holly. Hi, Jackson. Welcome in, everybody. All right, I'll be right back with the Rain Crow Shelter. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. And as I always say, there is always room for one more on the porch, so feel free to hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner and invite one or two more, and hit that repost button. It's a yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other, and that puts our porch into your friends' lives and helps us grow this beautiful porch. Oh, thank you for the manifesting crystal ball, Jamie. I love that one. Did I just say the wrinkle tent? No, I didn't. No, Lilith, this isn't that tent. You know what? I take it back. The title of this story is actually called The Names in the Logbook at Rain Crow Shelter. But that's too long, so I shortened it to Rain Crow Shelter. But it is just Names in the Logbook, which is also not a very good title for to tell people what the story is about. So I guess I'll stop making them so mysterious and make them more obvious. Like Appalachian Trail Ghosts. Thank you, Deborah. Thanks, Jackson. Welcome in, Marie. Don't kick the tent. Robin, that was funny. You said that was fast, like too fast. Way to go. Hi, Jade. Thanks, Michelle. That was like a wig. That's so cute. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the names in the logbook. I wasn't supposed to still be on the trail that late. I had started the day with a clear plan. An easy section, steady pace, make it to the town before dark. I had even checked the weather that morning. Light rain, maybe, but nothing dramatic. But by mid-afternoon, the sky changed in a way that I didn't like. It didn't roll in gradually. There wasn't that slow, cinematic buildup of clouds stacking on the horizon. It just flattened, like someone had taken the entire sky and pressed it down closer to the earth. The light dimmed, and the color drained out of everything. I remember stopping on the trail and looking up through the trees, and feeling that quiet, creeping certainty that I had misjudged something. And then the wind hit, hard and sudden. It pushed through the branches in a way that made the whole forest sound like it was breathing. Leaves flipped, trunks creaked, And somewhere in the distance, something cracked, sharp and loud, enough that I flinched. And that's when I checked my map again. Rain Crow Shelter, less than 2 miles ahead. I hadn't planned to stop there. It wasn't even on my itinerary. But the idea of pushing another 6 miles in worsening weather suddenly felt stupid. The kind of decision you regret halfway through making it. So I turned my focus forward and I picked up the pace. The rain started before I made it a 1/4 of a mile. At first it was just a mist, fine enough that it barely registered. But then it thickened. Heavy drops, cold and fast, soaking through my jacket. The trail turned slick under my boots, mud grabbing at each step, pulling me off balance. I don't like being rushed in the woods. Everything feels louder when you are. Your breathing, your footsteps, the way your pack shifts and creaks. It all starts to feel like noise you can't control, and something about that makes you hyper aware of everything else. By the time I saw the sign for Rain Crow Shelter, the storm had fully settled in. Thunder rolled somewhere behind the ridge. Not sharp, just a low, constant rumble like it had been going on for a while. The path to the shelter branched off the main trail, narrow and slightly overgrown, and I almost missed it. The wooden sign was old, the lettering faded. Rain Crow Shelter. 0.1 miles. The ground dipped and then leveled out into a small clearing, surrounded by thick trees. And there it was. The shelter looked like most of them do along that stretch of the Appalachian Trail. 3 wooden walls, open front, a slanted roof built to shed rain. Weathered but sturdy, built to last. Then I noticed there were already people there. 4 of them. That surprised me more than anything. Not because shelters don't get crowded, because they do. But this section of the trail wasn't really that busy this time of year. And with the storm rolling in, I hadn't expected anyone to have gotten ahead of it. The people were spread out across the interior, each with their own little space. Packs lined up against the back wall, boots set neatly near the edge to dry. The kind of quiet organization you only see from people who've been doing this for a while. No one looked up right away. And that kind of struck me as odd. Hikers usually acknowledge each other, even if it's just a nod. Some small recognition that you're sharing space, sharing circumstance. Here it felt like I'd walked into something already in progress. I shook off as much water as I could and I set my pack down near the entrance. The air inside was warmer than outside, but not by much. It held on to the dampness, filled with the musty smell of old wet wood and moss. Eventually, one of them glanced over at me. A man, older, maybe late 50s. His beard was streaked with gray and his jacket was worn in a way that suggested years of use rather than neglect. He gave a small nod and I returned it. And that was the extent of it. No introductions, no small talk, just an understanding that I was there now. I told myself it was fine. Some hikers are like that, reserved, focused inward. I started unpacking my gear, laying things out to dry, moving with that familiar routine that comes from repetition. It helped ground me. It gave me something to focus on other than the storm hammering the roof overhead. The others barely moved, and that was the next thing that I noticed. No shifting, no adjusting, no small unconscious movements, just stillness. The older man sat near the back wall, hands resting on his knees. Across from him, a younger guy, mid-20s, leaned against his pack, staring out into the rain. I remember thinking it was odd that he wasn't staring at a phone. There was a woman near the corner, her hair pulled back, her clothes dark and damp, but not dripping. And another man sat near the entrance, closest to me, his boots already off and lined up neatly beside him. I tried not to stare, but I was just trying to assess my surroundings. They must have been there longer than me already, and they settled in. Time stretched in that quiet way it does when there's nothing to do but exist in it. And the rain didn't let up. If anything, it got heavier. Water poured off the edge of the roof in steady sheets. The forest beyond blurred into shifting gray. I pulled out a protein bar and ate it slowly, more for something to do than because I was hungry. At some point, the woman shifted slightly, just enough to look at me. There was something in her expression that I couldn't place, not unfriendly, but not welcoming either. I gave a small, polite smile that she didn't return. She just held that look for a second longer than felt normal, and then she just turned back toward the rain. I told myself it was nothing. But slowly, I started to notice other things. Their gear. It looked older, not just worn, but outdated. The kind of packs you don't see much anymore. The fabrics, the designs, even the colors felt off. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Whitney. They almost looked like they belonged to a different time. But I tried to brush it off. People use all kinds of gear. Some stick with what they know, and some prefer older equipment. As the evening settled in, the light outside faded faster than it should have. The storm thickened and the darkness swallowed what little remained of the daylight. I set up my sleeping bag, I changed into dry clothes, and I tried to settle in. No one, lit a lantern. No one pulled out a headlamp. The shelter just stayed dim. Enough ambient light filtered in from the storm that I could still make out shapes and outlines during lightning strikes, but it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't the kind of light you choose. And yet no one changed it. We all just sat there in the silent darkness. And that's when I noticed the logbook. It sat near the entrance, tucked into a small metal box to keep it dry. Standard for most shelters. A place for hikers to leave notes, track who's passed through, share small pieces of information. I grabbed it and I flipped it open. The pages were damp, edges curled slightly from the humidity. The most recent entry was from earlier that day. A list of names. And I recognized them. Not personally. The kind of recognition that sits just out of reach. Like a word you can't quite recall. I just knew I recognized them. Some of the same names repeated, which I thought was odd. Hikers pass through, but they don't usually circle back that quickly. At least not on this stretch of the trail. I glanced up and the others still hadn't moved. Not even a glance in my direction. I closed the logbook and I set it back down. Something about it made me uneasy. Night settled in fully after that, and the storm never broke. It just continued, relentless. I laid in my sleeping bag listening to it, letting the sound fill the space where thoughts might have gone. I must have fallen asleep at some point, because I remember waking once in the middle of the night to a strange, heavy quiet. The rain had stopped completely. No wind, no movement in the trees, just silence. I opened my eyes and the shelter was darker than before. And for a moment, I couldn't even tell where anyone was. But then my eyes adjusted, and they were all still there. In the same positions. Exactly the same positions. The older man, the younger one, the woman, and the guy near the entrance. None of them were lying down. None of them were sleeping. They were just sitting there, awake, facing forward in the pitch black silence. I closed my eyes again and I told myself not to overthink it. Everything feels stranger when you're half awake in the middle of the night. So eventually I fell asleep again. And when I woke for real, it was finally morning. Clear sky, bright sunshine. The storm had passed completely. Sunlight filtered through the trees, warm and normal, in a way that almost made the night feel imagined. I sat up slowly and The shelter was empty. No packs, no people, no boots, nothing but my gear, which was exactly where I'd left it. And the logbook was still by the entrance. Thanks, Tater Tot. Thanks, Ellie. Thanks, Anna. Everything else was gone. Everyone else was gone. I stepped outside. The ground was damp. The air smelled fresh and clean. There were no footprints. It was just smooth, wet earth. I packed up quickly after that. I didn't linger. I told myself that they had just left early, before sunrise. Some hikers do that. It wasn't impossible. I finished my hike that day in kind of a quiet autopilot, just moving forward because that's what you do. By the time I reached town, everything felt distant, explainable. Until later that day, when I remembered the logbook. So I decided to look it up. Rain Crow Shelter, Appalachian Trail records, local archives, anything I could find. And it didn't take long. There had been incidents over the years. Disappearances, unexplained. Hikers who checked in shelters and never checked out. Search efforts that turned up nothing. And some of the names were listed. And I recognized them immediately. The older man, the younger one, the woman, all of them. They matched the names in the logbook. Matched the dates, but not recent dates, years apart, decades in some cases. They were all people who had gone missing along this exact stretch of the trail. And all of them were last recorded at Rain Crow Shelter. And that's the tale of the names in the logbook at Rain Crow Shelter. Hi, Ryan, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. They were missing people, Scott. They were the ghosts of missing people from decades of missing people. Hi, Eric. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Eric. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote. And could you guys do me a favor? Could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Hi, M-Pen. And I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote. Welcome to the porch. Hello, Jennifer Lawrence. Guys, Sherry just sent a super fan box. Thank you, Sherry, for your generosity. Thank you, Haunted Library. Welcome in. And you guys can hit it. There's a treasure box in the top left-hand corner, only if you're in the United States and if you're on TikTok. And if you click on it, when it opens, you get super fan for a month. I have no idea how to open them, so ask Lovely because she has 17 of them. So, thank you for the hand hearts, Aaron. Thank you, Thomas, for the TikToks. Eric, it hasn't. What do you mean? It's still going. Like, it still has 2 minutes. Hi, Sparkle Tree. Thank you, Robin, for the night sky. And Teresa, thank you for the hand hearts. D, thank you for your first gift ever. And look at you going straight to town. It said D gave you her first gift, and then all of a sudden she slammed 20 cozy cryptids in there. Thank you so much, D, for your first gifts ever. I'm honored. And way to hit the ground running, girl. Thank you so much. I feel so special when I get people's first gifts. Who got the treasure box? Songbird got it. Aw, Songbird. Oh, wait, maybe not. Who got it? It usually shows me it didn't today. Oh my God, Robin. What is that drum pop? That is so cute. I don't know. Were there two? I guess D. Hell yeah, D. But go big or go home. You got it, Robin? Because you know how I thought the person that gets it automatically sends out. Because look, Songbird wrote, "Thank you so very much for sending out the super." Maybe Songbird is just being really cute. Songbird, are you just being really cute? You're just being cute and thanking them? Oh my God, Songbird, you're so cute. Hi, Jackson. I'm good. How are you? I thought she was doing the like. She said, I am. You're so cute. Songbird, I thought you got it because you were just thanking her. Aw, you guys, Songbird was just thanking her. You're so cute. Oh my God. And congrats, Robin. I know you were just thanking the gifter. I just assumed you were the one that got it. You're so sweet, Songbird. What a cutie. I know. Like, what a sweetheart. Robin listened to you and won. I believe it, Lovely. You win them all the time. But Songbird, you're so cute. And Robin, thank you for that cute drum set. I know. That's good people. She just was saying, I know, that's what I said. That's so stinking cute that I actually thought she got the gift because she posted a little thank you with little stars. And I mean, what a precious Songbird. You're so cute. So shout out to Songbird for being an adorable human. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Fresno night crawlers or the spooky pajama pants. We have the chupacabra. I know, live, laugh, love. That's like what I was thinking. That's why I had to shout it out, because that's just a genuinely kind person, and I am a genuinely kind person like that, and you honestly don't really see it that much. I feel like my friends always joke that I'm like the female Ted Lasso, because there aren't really that many people out there that are genuinely just like nice. Do you know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was like, wait, she was just saying thank you to, and she got nothing out of it. That is my kind of person. Love you, Songbird. Okay, Fresno Nightcrawlers, Chupacabra, Midnight Movie, Eliza Crawford's Ghost, and The Goat Man. M. Penn, your first gift. Thank you so much. I'm so honored. You guys, 2 first gifts tonight. Feels so cool. Oh, she said, you guys, I'm verklempt. All right, you guys. You can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box if you're on TikTok, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. If you're not on TT and you're over on YT or Twitch, let us know what story you'd like to hear, and Justin or one of us will help you get your vote in. We have the Fresno Nightcrawler's Creepy Pants, who never get any love. We have the Chupacabra. We have the Midnight Movie, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. We have Eliza Crawford's Ghost. And we have the Goat Man. Who's it gonna be? Thank you for the hand hearts, Amy. Ellie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Oh my gosh, 500 minutes, Lane. That's awesome. Hi, Melinda. Amy, I love it. You're learning how gifting works. That's awesome. If you have any questions, I can help. I started TT last summer, and I've learned a lot, but I just kind of learned as I went as well, and I'm still learning. Thank you for the cozy cryptids, Teresa. All right, guys. And the winner of the poll was The Tale of the Midnight Movie, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. Speaking of Are You Afraid of the Dark, thank you to those of you who write keywords in the chat throughout the night to help AI categorize the live properly. Words like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, Spooky Bedtime Stories, Paranormal, Supernatural, Mothman, Bigfoot, Goatman, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, storytelling, ASMR, anything like that helps the AI that scans the chat figure out what we're doing so that we can chat about everything else we want to chat about without it falsely categorizing us as something else and sending us out to, say, trolls or to people who don't want to be here and will talk shit. So not only does it help us grow the porch, but it helps us keep the wrong people away from people who don't need to be in here. Exactly, Justin. For people who this is their listening style. So, with that being said, thank you guys for writing keywords in the chat throughout the night. Also, thank you for hitting that share arrow. Exactly, Sharper. If you could hit that share arrow, there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. That puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. So thank you, everybody. I love you, Porch Pals. Happy Wednesday. And me too, Ellie. And I will be right back with The Tale of the Midnight Movie. Hi, Kim. the M Pen, and M Pen, now you can use the stickers. If you click on the comment bar, you'll see a little symbol that looks like a heart. And when you click on that, you'll see all the little fun stickers that people put in the chat. You can use them now that you joined the Heart Me fan club. So welcome to the Porch Pals. Never marry, ever. Oh, live, laugh, love. No, that's actually the only crystal that I do not mess with. It's a hard no for me in mold fight. But Libyan desert glass, yes, my body's covered in it. Thank you for the follow, Victoria. Welcome to the porch. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Midnight Movie. Tonight, we've got a spine-chilling tale about a forgotten theater, an old film, and a mysterious screening that did more than just entertain. In a world of digital streaming and blockbuster cinemas, the small independent movie houses are slowly dying off. Relics of a forgotten time. But what if one of those dying theaters found a way to bring people back? Not with a new release, but with a special showing of a classic film. The story you're about to hear takes place in one such theater, where the flickering images on the screen became more than just a movie. They became a portal to something terrifying. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and enjoy the tale of the Midnight Movie. It started with the Riverview Theater. Once a local gem, it had been around since the 1930s. But by the time our story begins, it was on the verge of collapse. The popcorn machine was broken more often than not. The seats were worn and the crowd had dwindled down to a few loyal patrons clinging to nostalgia. Charlie, the theater manager, was desperate to save it. He'd tried everything. Reruns of cult classics, indie films, even turning the place into a trivia night venue. But nothing worked. The bills piled up and the Riverview was on the brink of shutting its doors for good. Then one night, as Charlie was sifting through a box of old film reels in the basement, he found something strange. It was a reel that he'd never seen before, marked only with a handwritten label. Nosferatu, Director's Cut. The original 1922 vampire film Nosferatu was iconic. But this version? Charlie had never heard of a director's cut. Still, something about it intrigued him. What if this was the answer? A rare, unseen version of a vampire classic could be just the thing to bring in a crowd. Thank you, Tracy. So Charlie jumped into action. He slapped together posters, reached out to local horror enthusiasts, and promoted the event on social media. The taglines were bold. Come see the lost director's cut of Nosferatu. And experience what was never meant to be seen. Slowly the buzz started building, and by the night of the showing, something incredible happened. The theater was packed. People came from all over, drawn by the promise of a rare cinematic experience. Horror fans, curious locals, and even film students crowded into the small lobby, chattering excitedly as the old movie posters hanging on the walls looked down on them. And then, just before midnight, the lights dimmed and the crowd funneled into the screening room. The projector came to life, and the eerie strains of Nosferatu's haunting score filled the theater. Charlie watched from the back, feeling an odd mix of excitement and unease. Something about the film reel had unsettled him, but he couldn't quite place why. As the film began, the audience sat mesmerized by the iconic silent images. The flickering frames of Count Orlok creeping through the shadows. The eerie, exaggerated movements. The stark contrast between light and dark. It was exactly what they had come for. But something was off. At first it was subtle. Quick flashes in the film. Strange cuts that hadn't been in the original. Charlie, watching from the back, noticed it immediately. A figure would appear in a scene that shouldn't have been there, standing just in the background, barely noticeable, but there. The figure was gaunt, dressed in a black robe, its face obscured in shadows. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Skrilla. No one in the audience seemed to notice these flashes, but Charlie felt a chill crawl up his spine. As the movie went on, these flashes became longer, more frequent. Thank you, Skrilla. The figure started to appear in every scene, always just at the edge of the frame, lurking. And then, halfway through the film, it happened. The screen went black for a moment, just a flicker, and then the image returned. Thank you, Shy. But it was different. It wasn't a scene from the 1922 classic. The screen now showed the theater itself in real time. The image was grainy, but clear enough. The audience murmured in confusion as they saw themselves on the screen, sitting in their seats. The camera angle moved slowly. Sweeping across the rows, as if someone or something was walking through the theater watching them. Charlie's heart raced. This wasn't part of the film. He glanced at the projector booth, but the operator inside seemed as puzzled as everyone else. The camera on screen panned to the back row where Charlie was standing, and his stomach dropped as he saw himself on the screen, staring directly into the lens. And then the figure appeared. It wasn't on the film anymore. It was in the theater, moving through the aisles. Unseen by the audience, but fully visible on the screen. The gaunt figure with its black robe stalked closer and closer, heading toward the projector booth. People in the audience began to panic. Some laughed nervously, thinking it was all part of the show, but others felt the rising tension, the oppressive weight of something terribly wrong. Charlie tried to move, to warn them, but it's like his legs were frozen in place. He couldn't tear his eyes away from the screen. Suddenly, the film flickered again, and the figure was standing in the projector booth, right behind the operator, his hands slowly reaching out, and the operator didn't see it. He was still adjusting the reels, oblivious to the terror creeping up behind him. The audience gasped collectively as the figure's hands touched the back of the operator's neck. And in that instant, the screen went black and all of the lights in the theater flickered off. Panic erupted. People screamed for the exits, but the doors wouldn't budge. The projector flickered back to life, but this time, there was no film. Instead, the gaunt figure appeared on the screen, staring out into the theater. And then, one by one, the theater goers began to vanish. They would just blink out of existence, swallowed by the darkness that seemed to seep through the screen. Charlie was paralyzed, unable to move, unable to speak. He watched in horror as the audience disappeared, leaving the theater empty and silent. When the authorities arrived the next morning, they found the theater completely empty, abandoned. The projector was still running, playing the final frames of Nosferatu on an endless loop. Of the dozens of people who entered that night, not a single person came out. And Charlie was never found. The last known footage of him came from the security camera in the theater lobby, showing him walking into the screening room moments before the midnight showing, and never walking out. The Riverview Theater closed down shortly after, condemned and left to rot. Locals say that on cold, quiet nights, you can still hear the faint hum of the projector. And if you look through the broken windows, you might see shadows moving on the screen, like flickering remnants of the lost souls from that night. Some say the real Charlie found was cursed, that it was never meant to be seen by human eyes. Others claim that it was a portal, a gateway to something far more sinister than an old vampire film. But one thing is certain: those who attended the Riverview Theater that night are gone, and the film, well, it hasn't been seen since. So, the next time you sit down to watch a late night movie, especially one on an old reel, remember, some films take more than your attention. They take your soul. Thank you, Matt. And that was the tale of the Midnight Movie. And that is a reworking of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Mace. All right, you guys. And I'll be right back with the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Thank you, Tennessee Ridge Runner. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Tina. Mace, it's okay, but it's always bad on Wednesdays anyway because I do 2 lives. So it's like a double whammy. But it's all right. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the next poll. Welcome to the porch. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. Hi, Bud Morgan. How you doing? All right, you guys, we have, if you're on TT, you can vote. We have the Appalachian Doppelganger, the Chupacabra, the Bell Witch, Eliza Crawford's Ghost, or the Michigan Dog Man. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. And if you are on YT or Twitch, Justin will help us, and if you want to vote, we have the Appalachian Doppelganger, the Chupacabra, the Bell Witch, Eliza Crawford's Ghost, and the Michigan Dog Man. Who's it gonna be? Oh, that was a close one, you guys. That was a really close poll. That was so close. And the winner is the Bell Witch and Pusa. Woohoo! All right, give me a minute and I'll be right back with the Bell Witch. Thank you, Teresa. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. I'm about to start my next story. Feel free to get cozy, settle in. I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I do write all these stories myself, and you can listen to them when I'm not live on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. If you could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a tiny yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. And it helps us get cool people in here. Also sharing to your friends, sharing in your stories, tapping and typing keywords throughout the night help immensely. Thank you so much for all of the porch pals being here. Also, I will not be going over tonight. By 1 o'clock, I will be a total of 6 hours live today, and I am having allergies and I am losing my voice already, and it is only 11:45. So I can pretty much guarantee that by 1, I will be done with my voice for the day. So, just a heads up. Thank you for being here, guys, and I'll be right back with the tale of the Bell Witch and justice for Impusa. Well, that's the issue with voices like mine, is everybody likes how low and raspy it is. But when you have a voice like mine, we lose our voices a lot. And I've always been like that. Like when I was a news reporter, if I had to do a double shift, like I was losing my voice. Like it's just the kind of voice I have. So it's nothing wrong. It's literally just part of my life. It's like a regular thing. Like when I used to go on vacation with my best friends, I'd lose my voice like the second day there. So that is the downside of having a sultry, raspy voice, is whatever register it's in your throat doesn't last as long. Be right back. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Teresa. Laura, thank you. Seahorses, I love them. Seahorse, sea hell. What a seahorse party didn't invite me. Submitted for the approval. Oh wait, I gotta start it over. Just kidding. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pals Society. This is the tale of the Bell Witch and justice for Impusa. My friend Kim and I first became friends on TikTok. We just clicked immediately. Like we were sisters in another life. She just felt like home to me, and our connection is truly a deep bond that I can't really explain. We had decided to save up money for a paranormal adventure together with a whole crew of spooky bookies. And we were rolling deep. I'm talking Brittany, Elena, Ayana, Angela, Yaya, April, and Alicia. And for our first paranormal adventure, we decided to go to Robertson County, Tennessee to research the folklore and poke around. Because the Bell Witch story had always bothered me. The way it was told, the way it was framed, the way the narrative blamed the neighbor, a strong-willed woman who had the nerve to stand up for herself against John Bell and was then deemed a witch. The way the story always centered the Bell family as the victims. Evil witch, demonic haunting, cursed land. The same tired language repeated for 2 centuries, without anyone stopping to ask who actually benefited from that version of events. As if the Bell family, who gained their wealth off of the work of enslaved people, were somehow innocent, without ever stopping to think of how their way of life itself was in fact the unnatural evil energy that saturated that land. What happened to the Bell family was most likely the repercussions of their own inhumanity, cruelty, and complacency. The Bell Witch Cave sits like a wound in the Tennessee countryside. It isn't dramatic at first glance, no towering cliffs or theatrical entrance. Just a low opening near the Red River, half hidden by brush and limestone. People come here expecting fear. They bring EMF meters and night vision cameras and preconceived conclusions. They desperately try to find connections to the witch. They want something to jump out at them, something to justify the word evil. But we came because of the land itself. The Bell Plantation once stood not far from the cave, and that detail is usually mentioned only in passing. Thank you, Kim and Laura and Jess and Michelle. John Bell, wealthy farmer, early Tennessee settler, respected man. That's how the story begins in textbooks and tour pamphlets. But what it rarely expands on is what that wealth was built on. Enslaved labor. African women and men whose lives were owned, controlled, brutalized, and erased. Their suffering is somehow treated like historical static background noise to the real story of a haunted white family. But the land remembers differently than the people who write the history books do. Thank you, Sunflower. I had been researching older accounts. Not the polished versions meant for tourists, but fragments buried in court records, local oral histories, diary entries, and overlooked scholarly articles. Mentions of women who disappeared, of punishments administered out of sight, of screams carried across fields at night, of a cave the enslaved avoided until they didn't have a choice anymore. Thank you, Thomas. Because the Bell Cave wasn't where the haunting began. It was where the resistance did. When we stepped inside the cave, the temperature dropped in a sharp physical way that almost felt like we had crossed into a different realm entirely. Kim laughed and said, "Hold on, y'all, here we go." We were all excited and nervous because this was our first paranormal outing together as a group. The walls were damp and the stone smoothed by centuries of water. We could feel an electricity in the air, a vibration, a tingling feeling like we were standing somewhere where something important had happened. And I just kept thinking about the women. African women brought here in chains, stripped of language, kinship, freedom, yet still carrying cosmologies older than this entire country. Women who viewed the land as alive, as something you spoke to rather than conquered. Women who knew protection magic, not as superstition, but as survival. Hoodoo, root work, conjure. These weren't aesthetic practices. They were technologies of endurance. Now, John Bell wasn't just cruel. He was methodical. Thank you, Janice. His punishments were designed to break the spirit as much as the body. Women targeted not only for labor, but for humiliation, violence, and control. The Bell Witch legend talks about invisible slaps and disembodied voices tormenting the family. But it never talks about the very real hands that regularly struck enslaved women. The very real screams that went unanswered. and the very real blood that soaked into that soil long before anything supernatural was ever reported. Desperation sharpens clarity, and those women didn't run to the cave because they were curious. Thank you, Laura. That's so pretty. They turned to it because they had nowhere else to go. The cave was mysterious and revered even then, known to the local indigenous people as a place where the veil between worlds thinned. A place where the elements spoke louder than men. Earth, water, darkness, womb, and grave in the same breath. Those enslaved women didn't summon an evil spirit or a demon. They called on a protector. Empusa. Empusa is not a witch in the fairy tale sense. She is an ancient elemental. She is associated with crossroads, caves, night, travel, seduction, and punishment. Some believe she served Hecate, the ancient goddess of witchcraft, crossroads, and the underworld. Empusa always appears as a beautiful woman, at first impossibly graceful, almost hypnotic to look at. Ancient writers compared her to spirits that fed on human vitality, which is why modern historians describe Empusa as the first form of vampire or succubus. But she didn't drink blood. She drained people. Emotionally, spiritually, and physically. She was seen as a force of punishment against arrogance, corruption, and human excess. Like a form of dark vigilante justice that appeared when people crossed lines they weren't supposed to cross. Long before Europeans ever set foot on this land, entities like Empusa have existed across cultures all over the world under different names. Not demons, not angels. Corrective forces, energy balancers, justice, karma. Hi, Queen Lakota. What those women did in that cave wasn't reckless. It was precise. They worked with what they had. Roots, water, ancestors' blood and breath. They bound their suffering into the land itself, not to curse blindly, but to anchor a guardian. They didn't ask for mercy. They asked for protection. And protection doesn't always look gentle, especially to those who are the oppressors and the abusers. As we moved deeper into the cave, the air changed in a way that made every single one of us stop walking at the exact same moment. Yaya and I locked eyes as if we both sensed something at the same time. The passage ahead narrowed into a low chamber, where black mineral streaks ran down the limestone walls like old water damage. My inadequate flashlight beam trembled across them, and for a split second I thought I saw movement inside the stone itself. Long shapes shifting beneath the rock. Thank you, Ariel. Nobody spoke. Even Kim and Brittany, who usually joke when they get nervous. Thank you, Brooke. Had gone completely silent. The vibration in the cave floor had deepened into something rhythmic. Not footsteps, not machinery. Something slow, a pulse moving through the ground beneath our shoes. Then Ange asked if anyone smelled anything. It smelled like wet soil and river water. And something burning. Not a smoke exactly, more like extinguished candles. Kim, who was behind me, suddenly stopped and told us all, "Back it the fuck up, Terry." I turned around to ask her what was wrong, and she pointed past me toward the back wall. Now Kim has a special gift, and she can see spirits and energy that most people can't see. So whenever she tells me that she sees something, we all pay attention. At first, I thought it was just another creepy opening in the rock. But then I realized the darkness itself was moving. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, Teresa. The shadows along the wall had begun gathering inward, folding closer together. Water dripped somewhere deeper in the cave, and the shape emerged. A silhouette formed from darkness, moisture, and flickering reflections off the cave walls. It was a woman. Parts of her seemed ancient and beautiful. Long limbs, hair moving like submerged roots, while other parts refused to stay still long enough for me to understand them at all. I remember seeing her eyes, reflective like light, shining across deep river water at night. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to run. But surprisingly, none of us moved. We were all just frozen. Ayana looked like she was about to cry, and Alicia looked like she was scoping the place for exits. The entity stood at the far edge of the chamber watching us. The cave had gone so silent I could hear the tiny crackling buzz inside my inadequate flashlight battery. The walls around us seemed to flex outward, and suddenly images started flooding my mind. Images of women kneeling in this exact chamber. Hands pressed into mud, blood mixed into river water. Images of a girl, no older than 15, hiding behind the others while someone above ground screamed. Not random visions, memories. Imprinted into the land. The cave wasn't showing us horror for the sake of horror. It was forcing us to witness. Then, Elena kept repeating that she could feel people standing all around us. And then, the figure moved closer. And the fear became almost unbearable. Not because she wanted to hurt us, but because no human nervous system is built to experience something like this. My entire body shook uncontrollably. Thank you, Brooke. And then I understood something that didn't feel like my own thought. The land remembered remembers what people bury. That was the message. Not revenge, not punishment. Remembrance. The cave itself was acting like an archive, and Impusa was its keeper. The story had survived distorted because distortion protects systems of power. If the entity was framed as evil, nobody would ask why she came. Nobody would ask who begged for her protection in the first place. She lifted one arm slowly toward the cave wall beside her. And for one impossible second, the mineral stains across the limestone looked unmistakably like overlapping handprints. Dozens of them. Small hands, large hands pressed into the stone. And then my inadequate flashlight flickered, and they were gone. April gasped sharply behind me, because at the same exact moment, every one of our flashlights in the chamber went out simultaneously. I heard Ange's nervous giggle in the back of the group, and then Brittany whispered, "I know you motherfucking lying." And Alicia gestured to Brittany to shush, as Ayana was trying to keep everyone calm and quiet. And then we were standing there in complete darkness. There you go, Brittany. Then I heard a woman sigh directly beside my ear. Not a voice, just a sigh, ancient, exhausted, real. And suddenly, the fear changed. What terrified me most wasn't the entity that we had just encountered. It was the realization that suffering this profound had actually happened here. Real women, real terror, real desperation powerful enough to stain a landscape for centuries. Then our inadequate flashlights suddenly lit back up and the chamber was empty. Impusa was gone. All that was left was some dripping water and the raw smell of earth. As we moved deeper into the cave, images pressed into my mind without warning. Women kneeling on cold stone. Bruised wrists, torn dresses. I felt their fear, yes, but stronger than that, I felt their resolve. Thank you, Laura. A moment where survival shifted into defiance. Impusa answered because she was meant to. What followed on the Bell Plantation is well documented in the parts people like to sensationalize. Disembodied voices, physical attacks, psychological torment. John Bell growing weaker, sicker, unraveling. His once brutal authority collapsing under something he could not whip, sell, or silence. The legend calls it a curse. And that word does a lot of work for people who don't want to say justice. John Bell died under circumstances so strange they terrified his peers. The Bell family suffered losses, madness, humiliation. their power eroded. Their name became synonymous not with wealth, but with a haunting. Their land rejected them. Thank you, Spooky Bestie. Welcome in. And the enslaved women, their names were not preserved, but their work was. The Bell Witch was never attacking randomly. The violence had direction, purpose. This wasn't chaos. This was consequence. And Pusa did not linger to terrorize innocents. She stayed to guard the boundary. That land is not cursed. It's protected. People who come there seeking thrills often leave unsettled, shaken, and sometimes injured. They report scratches, nausea, disorientation, and they call it malevolent. But protection feels hostile to those who mean harm or are not pure of heart, even unconsciously. Especially to those who romanticize cruelty under the banner of history. Reframing the Bell Witch as evil allows people to mourn John Bell without digging into the man he really was. It allows the country to turn enslaved women into footnotes instead of architects of resistance. And it allows violence to remain abstract rather than personal. But Pusa doesn't allow that obstruction. She anchors memory to place. She ensures that suffering is not erased just because time passes. She makes sure the land itself refuses sympathy for abusers. As we turned back toward the cave entrance, the pressure eased. Not because we were leaving, but because we had been understood. A quiet acknowledgement. We hadn't come to provoke, we had come to listen. And Pusa understood that. The Bell Witch Cave doesn't need an exorcism. It needs the truth. What happened there wasn't a haunting born of evil. It was a reckoning born of necessity. Enslaved African women, denied every earthly protection, reached for something older than the system that oppressed them. And it worked. And Pusa remains not as a monster, but as a sentinel. The land remains hostile not to all the living, but to those who are not pure of heart. And the story only feels like a curse if you believe John Bell deserved mercy more than the women he brutalized deserved justice. Because some protections never expire. And that's the tale of the Bell Witch and justice for Pusa. Thank you, Delia. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them when I'm not live anytime you want on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. All the links are also in my bio. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you are enjoying yourself, don't forget to follow me here if you're new, so if you fall off the porch, you can find us again. Also, if you could do me a favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner. If you've already done it, you can undo it and redo it if you would like. It helps reset the algorithm. There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. So thank you for all the taps. Thank you for sharing it out with your friends. Thank you for all the comments that are relevant to the live, like keywords and phrases. And thank you for all the love. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. Also, look at Isabel with her I love it. Where'd it go? Look at her comment about, I wish I could pronounce that. I wish I could speak. Jag har skikat 400 kommentarer till din live. I love you, Isabel. Why are you still awake? You're in a beanbag chair. Okay, good. Good. She's in Sweden. I'm like, why are you still awake right now? The new lamp. What? Huh? Thank you for the hanging lights, Maze. I love that one. I love it. Okay, I'll be right back with the next poll, guys. Happy Wednesday. That's okay, Isabel. I'm always up late too. Vibing. Thank you, Isabel. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. It's 12:24 here, Isabel. We have the Dear Woman of Oklahoma. We have the Librarian. We have the Lubbock Lights. We have the Last Summer Carnival. And we have the Greenbrier Ghost. And you can vote. In the top left-hand corner, there is a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? We have the Dear Woman of Oklahoma. We have the Librarian. We have the Lubbock Lights. We have the Last Summer Carnival, and we have the Greenbrier Ghost. Isabel, who can't you keep up with? And I don't believe it. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Amy. And the winner is the Librarian. I'll be right back, you guys, with the tale of the librarian who wasn't there. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these myself, and you can listen to them anytime you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, all the links are in my bio. Lady Rose, are you still in here? Also, I'll be right back with the tale of the librarian. Okay, Lady Rose, I forgot to tell you. I made the kids merch that you asked for. I made it yesterday and I forgot to tell you. I also made the grilled cheese socks that people were asking for. And so I added some of you guys' requests. And let me know, Lady Rose, if it's not right or it wasn't what you're looking for. I can make adjustments or I can fix it or whatever you want. Hi, Thay. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you yesterday. Love you, Lady Rose. Sorry it took me a while. Are we really, Brooke? My gift gallery? Really? Wow. It's like never gets filled. Is it really? Let me look. Girl, what are you talking about? We have 5 out of 21. I don't think we're close, boo-boo. Yeah, it restarts every Sunday. It restarts every Sunday. No, oh, you're talking about my gift goals. That's not the same thing as the gift gallery, Brooke. My gift goals aren't the same thing as my gift gallery. My gift gallery is like the gifts I need to get all week. Oh, okay, yeah. That's different. I was like, oh my God, my gift gallery is almost full because it's like never full. And then I looked and it says I have 5 out of 21. I got so excited. I was like, holy shit, what? But yeah, the gift goal is the little thing in the purple thing up top that I just filled that out myself. The gift gallery is if you click on my name and it tells you what league I'm in. And then it says B2 and it shows the gifts I need. Oh, no, not at all, Brooke. Not at all. I just got super excited for a second. Because ever since I got to B League, my gift gallery is like never full. And so I got really excited. I was like, holy shit, what? What? Yeah, and I still am perplexed over the fact that cats do that. But let's not bring that back into the chat, Jack, because that confuses the algorithm. No, Brooke, that's not you that can't type. Nobody can type on this app. Nobody can type on this app. It totally changes the words everyone types. Yeah, thanks, Isabel. Okay, guys, I'll be right back with the tale of the librarian who wasn't there. Yes, Jack, that's why I repeatedly all night long ask people to please write keywords in the chat that help let the algorithm know. It literally scans and summarizes us every 10 minutes. So, yep, sure is. That's literally why I ask you guys repeatedly all night long to please write keywords in the chat like, are you afraid of the dark, goosebumps, Mothman? I don't say that for no reason. It's because it literally scans us and summarizes what my live is about every 10 minutes and it sends me a summary and it's always wrong. And what it does is once it makes that summary, it sends it out to the people that it thinks like whatever the hell it made up that the live is about. So if it's cat farts, can you imagine what kind of cool people we get in here? And that's when trolls come. And it sucks, but literally writing keywords in the chat, we have noticed the long-time Porch Pals who have been here for a long time know it works. And it increases not only the number of people we get in here, but the number of people that are nice and not trolls. It really limits the amount of trolls that we get when we use keywords that actually pertain to what this live is about, because then the algorithm, the AI can scan it and it sees that it's about cryptids and Mothman and spooky story, and then it pushes it out to people who are looking for that stuff. So it's not really rocket science. It's kind of basic. And then Jackson still writes cat farts. So anyway, so just so you guys know, that's how it works. That's why I continuously ask you guys. It's not to be annoying, and it's not because I just want to see those words in the chat. It's so that we don't get trolls. It's literally basically troll prevention and to get, hopefully, people who like this stuff to come in as well. Win-win, you know? All right, guys, I will be right back with the tale of the librarian who wasn't there. Thank you, AHQ. I really appreciate that. That's a really sweet compliment. Thank you. Isabel, my hair is very long. Like, very long. Like, almost to my butt. I'm trying to see right now. Yeah, it almost touches my butt. It's very long. Thank you, Laura. I love that little cutie. God, he's so cute. And yes, my hair is full of secrets. I mean, have you ever seen a siren with short hair? Come on, guys. Yes, Isabel, it's probably... Okay, it's so long I can't sleep with it down. Because it gets stuck on my back. Like, it pulls my head back. Like, it's too long. It's a very long hair. Hi, Legacy King. I miss you. And very funny. Mace, I don't know what you're talking about. My hair's literally always down. What do you mean? Like, when have you ever seen me with a bun? Yeah, literally, yeah, like Rapunzel. And the thing is I cut it all the time. He said, okay, then I'm wrong. And I cut it all the time and it just grows back so quickly. Yeah, it's probably like 20 inches. It's very long. It's like 2 rulers, I would say. Maybe. Maybe a little bit shorter than 2 rulers. Hi, teacher. How are you? Welcome in. All right, guys, sit back and relax. I'm going to take a quick swig and we will listen to the librarian who wasn't there. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the librarian who wasn't there. It was supposed to be temporary. Just a little side job while I figured things out. I'd moved to Concord, Massachusetts after my lease ran out, and I had finally accepted that my job in the city just wasn't working out. I needed space, a chance to hit reset. I figured taking a part-time position at the town library would be the perfect way to keep busy while I regrouped. The town had been frequented by the likes of Thoreau and Emerson, so I was honored to land the job at such a historical library. The library itself was older than most buildings downtown. One of those carved stone places with ivy on the walls and stained glass windows that always looked dusty no matter how sunny it was. It had that scent that every library seems to carry. Paper, mildew, and something like dried leaves. But there was something else in this one. Something I couldn't name. From the start, the locals avoided talking about it. When I told the guy at the bakery that I was working at the library, he paused and then said something about watching the clock. Another woman told me not to work late, especially on the second floor. I assumed it was all small town superstition. Every place has its ghost stories. Thank you, Laura. Look at him with his little laptop. God, I love him. But I did notice one thing right away. The library didn't have any computers. No card scanners, no barcodes, no digital catalog. Instead, everything was logged in a massive, leather-bound ledger. The kind that looked like it belonged in a medieval monastery. Patrons wrote their names, the titles they were checking out, and the date all by hand. I started working the afternoon shift with another part-timer named Marie. She was older, with silver hair pinned tightly at the nape of her neck and a voice so quiet it was hard to tell when she was talking to you or to herself. She always left by 5, no matter what. One evening, I stayed late on accident. I had lost track of time shelving old newspapers in the history section on the second floor. The light up there was terrible, yellowish and flickering, and the windows were so grimy they barely let in daylight. By the time I realized how late it had gotten, the sun was already gone. I figured I'd just close up myself, easy enough. Except when I came back down, the front door was locked. From the inside, and I hadn't done it. The key was still in the Isabel. The key was still in the drawer beneath the front desk. But the door wouldn't budge. Not even when I turned the knob and pushed with my shoulder. It felt like something was holding it shut from the outside. I tried the side door with the same result. The air had gone cold, unnaturally so. And I noticed for the first time that the library had no central heating. No visible vents, just 3 old wall radiators that never actually warmed up. That's when I heard the cough. It echoed from upstairs, dry and raspy, like someone clearing their throat for the 100th time. I called out thinking maybe someone had gotten stuck inside too, but no one answered. The lights on the second floor flickered and then went out. I waited a moment listening, but there was nothing. No footsteps, no whisper of clothing, no shuffle of movement, just silence. Still, I made my way back up those creaking stairs. My phone had barely 1 bar of signal and my flashlight was too weak to cut through the shadows. I figured I'd just do a quick sweep, make sure no one was up there, and then try the phone line downstairs. The upstairs reading room was colder than the rest of the building. My breath fogged in the air. The bookshelves loomed taller somehow, more like barricades than furniture. And that's when I saw her, sitting in one of the armchairs by the window. A woman. Long skirt, dark shawl, gray hair tied back, eyes hidden in the shadows. At first, I thought it was Marie, but this woman wasn't moving. She was just watching. I asked if she needed help. Still nothing. Not even a blink. I took a cautious step forward. And that's when I saw it. Her reflection in the window behind her, and it didn't match. The woman sitting in the chair wasn't moving. But the reflection was. It was standing closer, leaning forward just slightly as if it was peering at me through the glass. I stepped back and I tripped. By the time I scrambled up from the floor, the chair was empty. I bolted down the stairs, my heart racing. Tried the phone at the desk, but it was a dead line. No dial tone, just static. And that's when the lights went out completely. Pitch black. Except there was one light still on. A soft greenish glow coming from the archive room in the back. I don't know what made me walk toward it. Maybe curiosity. Or maybe I already knew that I wasn't leaving until whatever it wanted me to see. The light was coming from the catalog ledger. It was open, but I hadn't left it that way. I stepped closer. The pages were turning on their own. Slowly, one after another. Until it landed on a page near the very back. The ink was fresh, still glistening. A single name written in looping cursive. My name. I stared at it for a full minute. The date next to it? Not today's. Tomorrow's. And beneath that, in smaller handwriting, was the word returned. I slammed the book shut. When I looked up, the lights were back on. And everything seemed normal. Except the front door. It was now standing wide open. No wind, no sound. Just the quiet, empty street outside. I grabbed my bag, and I left without even locking up. The next day, I quit. No explanation. No 2-week notice. I just packed my things and I left Concord behind. Thank you, Waffle Cone. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. About the name in the book. About the reflection that didn't match. And most of all, about what returned might actually mean. Months later, I looked the library up online. Nothing. No photos, no recent activity, no staff listing. It was like the place didn't exist anymore. Then, just out of curiosity, I checked one of those Reddit message boards. And there it was. There was a thread about a haunted library in a small town that no one could quite locate. People claiming to have visited once only to find it vanished the next time they tried. A few even shared drawings of the librarian that they remembered seeing there. Gray hair, black shawl. Just a blur where the features should have been. One post chilled me more than the others. Someone said that they had tried to take a book home, but the ledger wouldn't let them. Their name showed up under the heading unreturned. They said that night the librarian watched them sleep, and every night since. I never wrote on the thread. I never replied. I didn't want to encourage it. But sometimes, just before I fall asleep, I hear that dry cough echoing down my hallway. And that's the tale of the librarian who wasn't there. Thank you, Legacy King. Good night, Teresa. Sweet dreams. Thanks for being here. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Pete. And yes, Suzanne, I'm still live on TT. What do you mean? Hi, Ed. How are you? Hi, Witchy Poo. Good night, Professor X. Hi, Lena. Probably the best smelling books for sure. Thank you, Delia. All right, you guys. You know what time it is. It is grilled cheese time. We're about to take a trip to the Sycamore Diner. Good night, Crystal. Sweet dreams. Good night, Jackson. Thank you. You're sweet. Hi, Spooky Cabins. Welcome in. Hi, Misty Day. All right, guys. Quick swig, and I'll be right back with the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Thank you for the gamer kitty, Kim. He's so cute. That's so weird, Suzanne. You couldn't find me? Yeah, I've been live all night over there. Are you a member of the Discord? Because the Discord always posts a thing too. That's so weird, Suzanne. Let me send it to you. Okay, I just sent it to you over there. Now that we're on the last story, but still. Yeah, Kim. Why didn't it show up? They usually do. I didn't see it either. Thank you for the singing frog. It's so cute. I don't know why it didn't show up. It usually does. It must be glitching tonight because it usually shows. Michelle gives me that. Really cute. Lily, you want the Discord? Yeah. Justin, could you post the link to the Discord on TT whenever you get a chance? He just did it on YT too. You're the best. And I'm sorry it didn't show up, Kim, but I'll check the replay and see if it did. I love that little singing frogs. They're so cute. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Kim. If it is on the replay, I'll clip it and send it to you. Matt, can you please be careful? It's 1 in the morning. I don't think you should answer your door. Matt, I don't think you should answer your door at 1 in the morning if a random person's at your door. What if it's a man in a red coat? Can everybody tell Matt not to go answer the door, please? I think that's a bad idea. Oh, Poodle, you downloaded it? Okay, let me pin the link again. Sorry, I unpinned it. Right here. The link, you just copy and paste that into the search bar. Yeah, Matt, don't open your door. Please don't. Suzanne, are you serious? That's really bizarre. Because it's definitely still going on. That's the weirdest thing ever. TikTok is so annoying. Like, why would it be doing that? Anyway, quick swig and I'll be right back with the Sycamore Diner. Kim, thank you for the gamer kitty. Thank you for the love you so much, Ito. I know. Matt, paging Matt. Hello. Lonely Walt said this is not how you get into a porch lore story, Matt. Okay, when Matt comes back, someone please pin the comment for me, because now we're all stressed out. Now we're all worried about Matt. Some freak at his door. Tell you what, someone messes with my porch pal. He picked the wrong house. Because you know what, Tennessee's not even that far of a drive for me. I know, why didn't he bring us with him? Why wouldn't he bring the phone with him? Is he crazy? Yeah, you picked the wrong porch, pal. Oh my god, Mace, that would be so mean if he just like went to bed. He would never do that. Wait, lovely, Matthew. What? Matthew who? Isn't Deacon a puppy? That's like saying he has a baby with him. Like, what? Oh, it's so a Matthew thing he would do. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? I know. Go on, get. Exactly. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I thought he was a puppy. I don't know. Someone just knocked on your door too, Kim. Dear God, what is happening? Kim, do not answer it. Oh my God, misbehaving. Thanks, Boo Boo. Kim, stay where you are. Don't even move. Don't even make noise. I don't even answer the door when people knock on my door in the middle of the day. I'm not even kidding. The middle of the day, my bitch ass is hiding. I am quiet as a mouse when someone knocks on my door in the middle of the day. I'll be creeping through the blinds. Like, I don't answer for shit. So I'll tell you right now, if someone knocks on my door at 1 in the morning, they're definitely not getting inside. I don't even care if you could see outside without opening it. I don't care who's there. No one I know and love would show up unannounced to my house like a freak. And like, it's called a cell phone. So guarantee whoever is there is not someone I want to talk to. Are you serious, Matt? Who the hell was it? You opened the door, Matt, and you live in Tennessee. Oh my word. Matt, do you not know the rules of Appalachia or any rules of the world? You opened the door? And he flicked you off when you talked to him over the ring, and you were like, all right, that's a good signal for me to open the door. What? He didn't call your bluff, he ran. Yeah, if they flicked me off, I'm definitely not opening the door. I know, exactly, Alex. Hey, Alex, I'm not opening a damn thing. I don't even open the door in the daytime. Exactly, Zen. I only open for pizza guys. And I actually go pick up my own pizza. So I don't even have pizza guys come over here. I don't know why he ran. We don't even know why the hell he was on the porch. All I know is that... Wait, he was trying to break into your car? What the fuck? Wait, now he's trying to break into your car? So he was trying to break into your house? And he rang the doorbell? What kind of idiot is this? I know, Ethel, that's what I thought. I was like, you live in Appalachia, are you sure he's a real person? Yeah, exactly, Alex. Yeah, call the police and say there's a roamer. Oh, he was trying to break into your car and the motion sensor caught him. So on the ring camera, you told him to go away and he flicked you off. And so you opened the door and he ran. Now I get it. Jesus, my heart. Yeah. From now on, Matt, please don't open your door at 1 in the morning for people trying to rob you. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now, Lovely, for sure. Yes, Isabel, he was a weirdo who was trying to break into his car. Like, what? Anyway. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I didn't think. Yeah, Matt, we were all freaking out. And I said, what if he has a red coat on? What if he's a man in a red coat? Yeah, did you at least have a... Did you have a heater on you? Oh, our community cheered up, Alex. Woo woo. Rachie said, was he carrying a grilled cheese? Yeah, Tao, I think that tends to happen. Oops. Okay. Should have brought the live with you, Matt, and you could put the speaker on and we screamed at him. Scared him away. Like, don't you dare. I wish you would. I've been waiting for somebody. Yeah, with Ange. I was thinking that too. Have Ange cackle, but she's not here. Yeah, exactly, Matt. Yep. And like the way to scare somebody is to act so insane that you're like, I've been waiting for somebody to. I wish you would. Please make my day. Like. Super scary when someone's like got nothing to lose. They're like, I've just been waiting to fight someone, please. Lovely. I feel like that's one of the scariest things. Like when people tell me their children's stories about their children doing stuff like that, it creeps me out so bad. Like my one friend, she's like woken up numerous times to her son just like standing next to her bed staring at her. And I would freak out. Yeah, Jade, no. Nope. I would freak out. Skrilla, our hamster. It's a capybara. But like, and like my one friend said that like sometimes her daughter will just like sit facing the corner and stare. And I'm like, yeah, up for adoption. What the? He waits till you sense him to speak. That's so creepy. That's so weird. Kids, yep. Your kids sleep with their eyes open? Okay, that's enough. That's gonna give me nightmares. Wait, how many of your kids sleep with their eyes open, Lovely? Because that's actually terrifying. Yeah, Isabel. That's creepy. That is all of them? What? Yeah, Ethel, she has like 4 kids. Wait, all of your children sleep with their eyes open? I would freak out. I would freak out. I'd be like, can I return them? I've slept with one eye open and I woke up with it stuck to my pillow. Oh my God, Venus, that's also terrifying. Just sometimes. Well, Venus just said her mom found her once with her eyes open and her head hanging off the bed, asleep. Again. Oh my God, do you, Alex? That's so creepy. Well, I will tell you. Wait, what droplets? What's droplets? What are droplets? Oh, droolers. Well, yeah, that's normal, but I will say, okay, I can't talk too much about. Oh my God, Jack, did you? That's really sad and scary. I will say this, you sleep like you're in a coffin. Oh. I will say I do something that I think would be creepy if I were the person sleeping next to me. Everybody swears, no, it's not creepy, it's cute. But I feel like it would not be cute. It would be very creepy to me. I have been told in the past that I giggle in my sleep, and I feel like that's creepy. They claimed it was cute, but I feel like that's just what you say to the person you're, oh no, it's cute. I think that would be creepy. Yeah, if the person I was sleeping next to was giggling in their sleep, I'd be creeped out. Yeah, so I also, exactly, it's not cute, but they say it is. So yeah, so I do creepy stuff too, I guess. But sleeping with my eyes open, that's a whole nother ballgame. Yes, Rochelle, humming too. Yep. I giggle, hum, and sigh. Like apparently sometimes I'll just be like, like what? Why do I do that? Like, Like that's also kind of weird. Like, is it? Yeah, see, they say it's cute out though. I don't think so. And I'll be like, like that. I just like laugh. I punched once in my sleep. I felt terrible. Oh. Skrilla, you really like farts, huh? I've never tried to hit anything in my dreams. You guys both do? James, you have sleep apnea, yeah. I always joke about how men don't even know how to breathe right, because I don't know why all of y'all have sleep apnea. Like, why can't you guys breathe? It's like 90-something% men have sleep apnea, or it's like out of the people who have sleep apnea, it's 90% men. And I'm like, dude, why can't you guys even breathe right? Like, Jesus Christ, breathing is like the most vital, simple thing. And they're like, I need to turn on a machine to remember to keep breathing. Oh my God, Sue, really? Sue said her husband told her she screamed in her sleep before and she didn't even wake herself up. You're a mouth breather, Jade? Interesting. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that one. Why? She said, I don't have sleep apnea, but how dare you make fun of people who can't breathe? But no, it's only in their sleep. It's like the one vital thing, like, what do people say? Like, you even breathe wrong. Like, breathing's the most simple thing we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's not even about age, because I knew dudes in their 30s that yeah, no, because I had a guy that I dated in his 30s and he had one of those machines too. So it's not even like an old person thing. And my stepdad has one, and my mom says, yeah, that's what my mom says. It's Darth Vader. See? She said almost every man I've been with has sleep apnea. See? It's a man thing. I'm not sure why. I wonder why it's a man thing. I wonder why. Are their noses different or something? Venus said, I forget to breathe when I'm awake. Just all of a sudden, hold on. Like, oh, I better exhale so I can inhale. Really? Oh my God, that's so funny. You've been wondering if I have a stepdad? Yeah, I do. I have a stepdad, and he has a sleep apnea machine. And my mom says it sounds like a spaceship or like Darth Vader. And my sister's ex-husband had a sleep apnea machine, and she said it was so loud. Physiologically? Really, Jack? Huh? Yeah, Jade, I do that too, though. I do hold my breath sometimes too and don't realize I'm doing it during the day. Yeah, Legacy, that's what I was saying. Jade, I know you're not a man. Yeah, I have a stepdad, yep. I have my dad and then a stepdad. Yeah, your boy bestie has sleep apnea, so does mine. They're quieter now depending on the brand. I should tell my mom. You hold your breath when you play baseball. I've got myself holding my breath when I hike. And then all of a sudden I like let it out. I'm like, I have no idea why. Okay, I just saw this comment that said, I used to dance and our dance teacher would tell us to breathe. And I thought it was Justin saying because he leaves so many dance comments. And a poppy. Good one, Skrilla. T, that's interesting. You had a doctor say their tongues block their airways because it relaxes. So men's tongues just like stick in their throat. You have a few girlfriends with CPAPs. Yeah. Okay, so it's not just men then. You hold your breath when you're concentrating. Me too, Mary. Me too. When I'm concentrating, I hold my breath. Google says there's a few different anatomical reasons why it's men. Interesting. So like your noses and your tongues? Yeah, because you're right, Kim. They do snore too. Yeah, lovely. Exactly. Hey guys, you need to breathe. Just a reminder. You need to breathe. Okay, so now that we know Matt is safe and everybody's breathing, we will go back to the diner. I feel like Matt gave us a bit of a heart attack. He said I'm safe and breathing. I love you too, Sherry. Yeah, I think I just stopped breathing because of Matt. May said, I think I just stopped breathing. AI summary is going to be like, people discuss sleep apnea and not answering your door after dark. Exactly, Mary. From this point forward, you need to take us with you. Oh, Justin, Joanne's asking how your birthday was. Isabel said, only reason I wouldn't breathe if I was fighting someone. Pow pow. Yeah, scary stories to answer the door in the middle of the night too. Well, and Kim said somebody was knocking at her door. What in the hell? Sue over here on YT says, just a reminder, you need to breathe. Okay. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Exactly, Isabel. They can text me. And if they don't have my phone number, then why are they at my door? I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. Thank you, Hedge. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. Good night, Brooke. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years. But the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. A checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools. Even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I had walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth and the vinyl creaked. And I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal. Sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes, like they were there but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee. Strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map, and there was no signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going. But now the wind had picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. Thank you, Justin. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered just once and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in the air. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back, The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm. It was a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain, and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty, no plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm, and still half-eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless. Like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. 1 second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore, just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. CJ. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight. Everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor. Same red booths. Same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Thank you, Porch Pals. I love you so much. I love spending my evenings with you. Thank you for being here with me. I'll tell Merlin you said goodnight, Sherry. I will see you guys again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys get some wonderful sleep. And if not, head on over to my YT channel. I promise the Bedtime Stories playlist will have you snoozing. And don't forget, stay spooky.